Hi everybody. So today I will teach you about operating system security. Currently we are in week 3. So this is the research material that we need to read. Okay, content. So currently I will teach you about mostly we are focusing on the definition of the term. It's like a terminology. I will start from the patch. What is patch? 0 day, multi-factor authentication, password, buffer overflow, application security, the root cause of unsecure OS, injection, attack, advanced overflow, format string attack, data execution prevention, return oriented programming, address space layout randomization, trusted platform modules, writing good code, security of remote access, and finally is a security tips in development sites. Okay, what is OS? OS basically is used to manage access of application program to hardware. It also can be used to manage access of user to data and application programs. An OS security flow can allow website user to install malware, also user to gain access to unauthorized things for privacy, everything. Security controls to be bypassed or disabled. What is virtual machine? Virtual machine is like a actually is a software that allowing OS running on a computer. Unlike emulator, the software of virtual machine has direct access to the host CPU, disk, and RAM, so they run fast and efficient. The advantages of the virtual machines is it has many VM in a single host, which is the hardware cost is shared, also portable, secure, and last one is convenient. The advantages of the virtual machine is it may hosted in another legal jurisdiction. CIA issues. Infected VM may be able to escape the VM sandbox and infect other VMs and the host. Malware detection in VM can be thwarted if malware detects that is in a VM or sandbox. Hyperfile, patch file, .vemem and .vmdk files are susceptible to physical access attack. Hosting company can access inside of VM through VMI extension. Patches. Patches basically is a set of changes to current software that focusing on update, fix and improving. The example of the patches we can say like a window updates we can consider as a patches also. What is 0 day? 0 day basically is a day where the interested parties start to learn vulnerability, and if founded, patches will be created or advised to mitigate it. What is the connection between patches and 0 day in SDLC? As we will learn in software engineering, if you want to build like a specific software, we need to have like a step in order to build the software. The step we call is a SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. In order to produce such software, the steps such like SDLC is needed. SDLC stands for of Software Development Cycle. In SDLC, usually in real life, it forms like spiral. It is considered as repeating steps. A patch will be done during maintenance. An attack during 0 day will be launched during that by the outside the attacker. A 0 day exploit is an exploit that has no solution. 0 day exploits are particularly harmful because they are impossible to predict and anticipate. Shortly after release of a 0 day exploit, Whiteheads and every vendors catch one from the wild, quantify it, disassemble it, test it, and report it to the manufacturer. Manufacturers start working on patch and to prevent it from exploiting its software victim. Virus, worm, and to some extent Trojan gain access to a PC through exploitation of vulnerabilities in the installed software. All types of software can be vulnerable of any platform, such as PC, Mac, router, Pocket PC, phone, operating system, application, and even some smart media. Whatever software is written by human, mistake and oversight will exist. Software manufacturers release a patch or hackfest to remove bugs in software without the need to completely reinstall a new version of the software. Various websites distribute the patches, but there is no way to ensure that they get to the users of the software. The advantages of patches, there are four. The first one is automatic update. Second is sometimes it updates break things. Third, many users turn off automatic update because they find the automatic reboot disruptive. And last one, updates can take hours to install. Software companies do not always prepare and release patches in timely manner. They hold off for several reasons. Some patches are therefore created by third-party activists and small security companies. Don't be an early adopter. The first buy to buy a new product. This is the patches tips. Second one is keep up to date. Check security website regularly to make sure you have the latest patches. Okay, patches today. This is a term which is come from the Microsoft. Patch today, Tuesday is an official term used to refer to when Microsoft regularly releases software patches for its software products. Microsoft has so much software to fix that they have a regular cycle of patch development and release. Patches come out on second Tuesday of each month. Crackers has released that their exploits can have the maximum effect if they release them just after each patch cycle. They get 30 days of 0-day exploit before the fix is distributed. What is authentication? Authentication is the act of proving an assertion such as the identity of computer system user. Three things that are required for secure communication. The first one, secrecy, integrity, and authentication. Multi-factor authentication is basically an authentication method in which computer user is granted access only after successfully presenting two or more pieces of evidence, which is mean at least this kind of the technique needed at least two factor. Maybe someone you know, whether username or password, whether biometric, fingerprint, faces, card, key or token, present web of trust. Several identity that used for the authentication. For website, usually they need username and password or email address. For phone banking, user number and PIN. For ATM, usually ATM need like card and PIN number. For ID card and password, they needed like card, signature, and photo. Phone and internet-based credit card transaction, maybe a paywave or card. Okay, what is CVV or CSC? This kind of term is familiar if we have like a debit card or we have like credit card. Basically, it's a term that referring for security feature for card not present payment card transaction is used to reduce the evidence of credit card fraud. Added to card 2005 to reduce fraud in card not present transaction. It can be seen as proof that the buyer has the card. It generated from hash card number, expiry date, and other factors. Password basically is a susceptible to keylogging, brute force, and dictionary attack that can too often be obtained or guessed using social engineering techniques. The success of brute force attack depends on the size of the password or PIN. This password can be cracked easily using existing software that automates the login process, such as dictionary attack. If the password can be guessed, the speed of cracking increases dramatically. A dictionary attack may take a few as 85,000 guesses. Most passwords are now 8 characters. So, there is a tip how to protect the password. The first one, don't write the password down. We need to know how about the password storage. Passwords are obtained by social engineering method or by sniffing in unencrypted network traffic such as from Telnet, HTTP, or FTP. Even a password used with the secure website may be obtained if it stored in plain text in a vulnerable database or as an unsalted hash. There is a password policy. The first one, in order to minimize the risk of the password being guessed, each password should be long, random, different. This one, we already get used about this kind of the policy. Second policy is a password policy can be used to develop an algorithm for recreating different passwords for each account. Mixture of cache and character substitution can be used as well. An entire random password can be stored in a text file and copied into web form as needed. Default password. Many network appliances and servers can be accessed remotely for configuration. By default, they have no password, a default password. Always change the appliance password. Okay, we go to next. WPS password. WPS stands for Wi-Fi Protected Setup. It's basically is a standard for the easy and secure establishment of wireless network. It's a nice idea. However, it's a bad implementation because it requires 8-digit PIN share with connecting device. Last digit is a checksum. PIN is checked in 2 pass, 4-digit checker, 3-digit checker. It also can be brute force with 11,000 guesses. Different measures made other mistakes. First one, random number may not vary number. PIN derived from MAC address. PIN derived from serial number which is transmitted in replies to prompts. Password lockout. If we get it wrong 3 times, you will lock out for a day. But no lockout on username. Best practice for password. Please don't reuse password. Please use upper and lower case digit and symbol. Mix it into the password. Please don't use dictionary word. No personal information. Please don't put it inside the password. No sequence password like this one. My pass 01, my pass 02. don't use it. However, there is a disadvantage of the a password best practice. First one, draconian password policy can encourage users to bypass security. Too frequent password changes encourage password reuse. Too complex rules forces users to write password down. Best practice for server. Store password hashes, no plain text. Sort the hashes. Change password is compromise. Encourage or support long passphrase. Choose high entropy default password. Do not use email address as username. Do not reset password without authentication. Do not read password over the phone or send by email. So this is the case study for worst practice. This is also the worst practice. I mean the case study. Okay, we start to the next term, buffer overflow. What is that? Basically, it's a buffer overrun or is an anomaly where is a program put into a fixed length buffer than the buffer can handle. Most vulnerabilities are now found in application. Or security is generally okay. Either it's catching up very bad or steady. Apple relying on past reputation. Google are doing silent update through browser. Firefox starting to do this too. Application security basically is a process of making apps more secure by finding, fixing, and enhancing the security of apps. This is due to smaller vendors do not have a patching system. There is a root of cause on unsecure OS. It starts from the C program because C is considered a low programming language. At that time, it combined with the von Neumann architecture. This all making all data treated as stream bytes and all instructions are a stream of bytes. C string end in null character. C has no type safely. C array only consists of pointer to the start of the array. Since then, the internet runs on Unix. Unix and Linux written in C. Windows kernel also written in C. C++ written in C. Object-C is written by C. Compiler high language written in C. It starts from C actually. Array bound error. Basically, array bound error is a array index out is a special case of the buffer overflow error. It occurs when the index used to address array item exceed to allow value. This is an example of the array bound error. An integer overflow error occurs when operation makes integer value greater than its maximum. Modern computers use systems like 2s complement notation to maximize data storage while tracking the sign of integer variables. Overflowing an int type counterintuitively changes to value and the sign. This is the example of integer overflow error. Function calls. When the function is called, the next address is read from program counter. Push it onto the stack. Function does some work and then pops return address to the stack, write it to the PC. Finally, execution continues. Stack smashing is a form of vulnerability where the stack of computer application or OS is forced to overflow. When function is called, Return address push onto the stack. Function receives input from the user into a parameter on the stack. Override the return address and shutdowns. Pops the overwritten return address of the stack into the PC. Execution jumps to machine's code or rob gadget. What is injection attack? Injection attack refers to an untrusted input to a program, which gets processed by an interpreter as part of command or query which alter the course of execution of that program. So this is different kind of injection attack. We have a code injection, CRLF injection, cross-site scripting, email header injection, host header injection, LDAP injection, OS command injection, SQL injection, and XPath injection. For C programming, modern computers use the von Neumann architecture. Data and code share the same memory address space. Because pointers are used to locate both data and code, code can be treated as data, and data can be executed as if it were code. So this is the example how to execute data in C. How it works. The attacker just put input in the containing executed cobble into the text field only. The number of characters exceeds the memory allocated to the text buffer. When you open a website, for example, open any website, usually we can see a text field. In the text field, usually attacker will put something. In this case, we put the executable code into text field. The injected code overrides parts of the program being exploited. This is how it works. The return address now points to the attacker codes. The function code crashes and returns to attacker codes. The codes run. Stack architecture is different from different CPU, platform, and operating system. Some stack go up, others down. String generally fill towards return address. The attacker needs to understand the target computer. If an attacker knows the location of OS libraries or the location of useful function in the exploited program, he can call this function from within the exploit code. This means that an attacker can execute command like sudo or open TCP socket with administrative privilege without having to write the code. C use Studio. This studio.h is a library of C. Function for input and output. Uses pointer to memory. Careless use. Basically, data execution prevention is a security feature that can help prevent damage to your computer from virus and other security threats. It's like a feature which allows particular areas of memory to be tagged as an act non-executable or executed disabled. In an attempt to stop buffer overflow exploit, CPU manufacturers have created the DAP. DP is supported in Windows and Linux kernels since XP SP2 and kernel 2.6.8 respectively. It can be turned off in software. Some devices don't use it. It is also support Windows and Linux. It also can be turned off. Return-oriented programming is a computer security exploit technique that allows attacker to execute code in the presence of security defense such as executor, space protection, and code signing. Write exploit which jump to its useful command in the correct sequence to perform a malicious act. See voting machine for details. ASLR stands for Address Space Layout Randomization. It's a memory protection process for operating system that guards against buffer overflow attacks by randomizing the location where system executables are loaded into memory. It aims to make ROP impossible. ASLR is a scheme changes the layout of the heap, stack, and library function after each boot to make it harder for a hacker to locate areas of useful memory. It's available in Vista 7 and Linux kernel since 2.6.2. There's a lot of techniques to discover this memory location. This is an example. GOT table GOT table contains location of shared libraries at runtime. MADI DDL loaded at runtime have ASLR disabled and are in constant noun locations. Then scan the AP whitelisted process for useful shell code instruction and call one to load and run our exploit. This is an example of TPM. Actually, it's a cryptographic chip attached to the motherboard of a PC or other computing device. It contains small amount of EEPROM and a dedicated CPU, ROM, and temperature sensor. The idea is that all security and cryptographic functions performed on behalf on the BIOS and OS are performed by the TPM, which is harder to sniff or intercept because it is hardware. Items such as a fingerprint metric, certificate, key, and password can be stored on the module. The TPM should never display its contents. However, the TPM has poor reputation due to its early use in enforcing DRM. Few manufacturers, software vendors use the TPM because of this. There is a trick how to writing a good code. I mean, how to writing a secure good code. Because most programming different on C, recommending using the end version of string function instead of the unsafe counterparts. The format is usually something like this: string and copy, target pointer, source pointer, end. While using the end string function is good practice, is not sufficient to prevent buffer overflow. Code must be carefully inspected and tested to discover all possible overflow. The advantages of the code inspection is expensive and also time consuming. Fast testing is a input random string into input variable and data files. Fire random event while a process is running. Easy to automate. Log input output behavior to discover potential vulnerabilities. Used by crackers to discover vulnerabilities too. What is security of remote access? Basically, it's a combination of hardware software to enable the remote access tool or information that typically reside on a network of IT device. Usually Windows have this kind of the future. Remote access, remote desktop, remote registry, universal plug and play. Security tips for development site. Programmer, particularly students, tend to want administration privilege for every program and part of a website that they develop. This prevent those pesky error messages triggered by illegal access. Crackers look for this site. They provide easy access to password, username, version number, and SQL injection vulnerabilities. They are more likely to be exploitable due to inexperience of the programmers running them. Once the website web application is running, you must lock down all the security settings. change the password, change the permission, delete the test user, etc. If it stop working, it because you wrote it bad, find another carrier. So this is an example of the what we can say is like case study for OS security. So at the end, I want you guys to answer this question. Could you tell about 10 techniques to protect against social engineering? Please answer in Canvas discussion. This question actually don't contribute any marks. But however, this question is related with the final exam. I think that's all for the slide. Okay, thank you.